All right, hello everybody. Here's worksheet number 6. This is your homework. Worksheet number 6 is your homework for linear systems. Let's go ahead and take a look at each of these. Solve each system using linear combinations or elimination. Make sure you check your solutions. Your number one thing to remember for these is to line up your values. You need x's with x's, y's with y's, and equal signs with equal signs. And remember, you want to look for your zero pairs or your opposites, because that's what's going to make something cancel out. All right, I love this first one. We start off easy. Do you see those x's that are a zero pair? When we look at these homeworks, it's nice to see that the beginning ones always give us something that's relatively easy ordered as far as canceling out those x's. So positive x and negative x are going to cancel out. Negative 2y is 1, positive y is going to give me negative y. Negative 2 and positive 3 gives me positive 1. Divide by negative 1. And y is equal to negative 1. You can choose either equation to substitute back into. I'll go ahead and choose this one. So x is equal, or x minus 2 times my value for y is negative 2. So x minus negative 2 is equal to negative 2. Don't get tangled up into these negatives. Subtract 2 from each side, and I have a value of x is equal to negative 4. Therefore, my answer is going to be an input of negative 4 gives me an output of negative 1. All right, moving on, another easy one. Here's my zero pair, negative 3y's, positive 3y's. Check to see that my x's and my y's, my constants are all lined up. Add my equations, and there's my zero pair that I can eliminate. Positive 2, negative 1 gives me positive 1x is equal to 2. I can plug into either equation. I'm going to choose this one. So 2 times my value for x plus 3y is equal to 5. This value for x goes right in here. That's going to give me 4 plus 3y is equal to 5. I'm going to subtract 4 from each side. So 3y is equal to 1. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Y is equal to 1/3. Do not be afraid of the fractions, because when you look up in your original equation, both y's have a coefficient of 3. That's a friendly number with this fraction. So when we go ahead and solve for our second value, 2x plus 3 times that value for y is equal to 5. 3 times 1/3. Check out, those are multiplicative inverses of each other. Your inverse gives you your identity. 2x is equal to 4 when I subtract 1 from each side. Divide by 2, x is equal to 2. Therefore, my answer is an input of 2, gives me an output of 1/3. Now this one I have to do a little bit of math for. That's okay, because I have my x's and my y's and my constants lined up, but I don't have opposites. I don't have a zero pair. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply this by a negative 1. So I have my original equation, which is 2x minus y is equal to 4. Now I have negative 3x, because I'm going to distribute this negative 1 to all the terms. Negative 3x plus y is equal to negative 2. Check it out. Here's my zero pair. So it's negative x is equal to negative 2. Divide by negative 1. and x is equal to positive 2. So I can go back to either equation and say 2 times x minus y is equal to 4. 2 times my value for x. So 4 minus y is equal to 4. When I subtract 4 from each side, I get y is equal to 0. Or negative y is equal to 0. But that's going to be the same. So over 2, up 0. Alright, let's look at number 4. X plus 2y. Now you have a choice. You can either multiply this equation by 2 or by a negative to have them cancel out. You can cancel out your x's or your y's. I choose my x's. So I have x plus 2y is equal to 3. I didn't change that equation at all. And now I have 2x minus 2y is equal to 12. I distributed this 2 to each of these terms. When I add my equations, my y's cancel out. I now have 3 x's, which I can then get a value for x. When I go back to my other equation, I'll choose this top one. X plus 2y is equal to 3. 5 plus 2y is equal to 3. Go ahead and substitute this value in for x. Subtract 5 from each side. 2y is equal to negative 2. Divide by 2. And I get y is equal to negative 1. Therefore, my ordered pair is over 5, down 1. That's where those two graphs intersect. Alright, when I look at 5, my x's, my y's, and my constants are all lined up. I think what I'm going to do is multiply this one by a negative 1. So with my equations, that's going to give me, my first one does not change. And my second one becomes negative x, there's my 0 pair, minus y, negative 2. X minus x is 0. 2y plus negative y is going to be y is equal to negative 6. So in my original equation, x plus my value for y is equal to positive 2. I'm going to add 6 to each side, and x is equal to 8. Therefore, my ordered pair is 8, negative 6. Alright. I'm close to having a 0 pair, but I'm missing a sign. So I'll again multiply this second one by a negative 1. So my first equation stays the same. 3x minus 2y is equal to 8. My second equation becomes negative 2x plus 2y, there's my 0 pair, is equal to negative 5. When I add my equations together, I get 1x, these cancel out, is equal to positive 3, and I'm already done. When I substitute into my other equation, I have 3 times my value for x minus 2y is equal to 8. 9 minus 2y is equal to 8. Subtract 9 from each side. Negative 2y is equal to negative 1. So therefore y is equal to 1/2. My final answer, an input value of 3 gives me an output value of 1/2. Alright, let's do our next one. 2x minus 4y is negative 6, and x minus y. So my terms are all lined up. That's good news. X's and y's and constants. Let's go ahead and multiply this by a negative 2. And I'll cancel out my x's for this round. So this equation stays the same. 2x minus 4y is equal to negative 6. And this equation becomes negative 2x plus 2y is equal to positive 2. Careful of all those signs in there. Here's my zero pair. Minus 2y is equal to negative 4. Divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. Y is equal to positive 2. When I take this first equation, and you can take it in its form of being multiplied by a factor of 2 or its original equation. I'll go for the original one because that's much easier. X minus 2 is equal to negative 1. Add 2 to each side. So my x is equal to positive 1. Therefore, my solution is over 1 and up 2. All right. Take a look at 8. What do you want to cancel out? Your x's or your y's? Everything's all lined up, so that's good. I think I'll go ahead and I'll cancel out, let's go ahead and cancel out those y's. I'm going to need to multiply this equation by a negative 2. Watch what that's going to do for me. Here's my original first equation. And my second equation becomes negative 6x. And this negative 2 times a negative y makes positive 2y. That's what I needed for my zero pair. So when I add my equations, I get negative 5x's, these cancel out, are equal to negative 1. Divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5, x is equal to 1/5. Do not be afraid of the fractions. Alright, so we'll go ahead and substitute into our original equation. It doesn't matter which one I use. X minus 2y is equal to 3 is pretty good for me. I'll go ahead and I'll put 1/5 in for x. Minus 2y is equal to 3. I'm going to subtract 1/5. Negative 2y is equal to, if you need the calculator to help you out with this math, please go ahead, because now I can have 3 minus 1 divided by 5. Math, frac, enter. So 14/5. It's nice to have that value already into the calculator because I'm going to divide by negative 2. And all I need to do is continue. See how that answer carries through? And I get negative 1.4, which is going to be y has a value of negative 7/5. Now this one's a pretty dicey one. I hope I didn't go wrong somewhere, because to have those two fractions compared to the rest of the easy answers we've had. So I might spend some time checking this one. Let's take a look. When I have 1 divided by 5, there's my first fraction, minus 2 times negative 7 divided by 5. Does that equal 3? Bingo. Now let's check this out. 3 times, what did I get for x? 1 divided by 5. And then subtract, what did I get for y? Negative 7 divided by 5. Close my parentheses. See if I get a 2. Good news. I got it right. Because these both check, even though my answers weren't that pretty, I know I got them right. Alright, so for number 9, I have my x's and my y's, my equal signs and my constants lined up. Look how both of these, all these are divisible by 10. I'm trying to wonder if I divided everything by 10, if that might be easier. Check this out. Here's something kind of new and fun. Are you ready? I'm going to divide this equation by 2. Watch what that gives me. 3x minus y is equal to negative 2. I divided 6 by 3, or by 2 to get 3, negative 2 by 2 to get negative 1, negative 4. So now I'm going to divide this equation by 10. So it's going to give me negative x plus y is equal to 4. Check it out. I found a zero pair. Sometimes dividing, if it works out, can simplify your answer, and then you're working with smaller, friendlier numbers. We like that. The friendlier the numbers, the better. Now, when I go to test or to substitute for x to try to find y, I could do it in this equation, or this equation, or this equation. These two are so much simpler. If I have 3x minus y is equal to negative 2, 3 times x minus 1 is equal to negative 2. I'm going to add 1 to each side. 3x is equal to negative 1. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. X is equal to negative 1/3. Again, if I'm nervous that it didn't work out, I could always use my calculator and substitute in. Wait a minute. X is equal to 1. Oh, I need to go ahead and put 1 in here. Uh-oh. Stay with me, folks. 1 goes in for x minus y. So that becomes 3 minus y is equal to negative 2. Big difference here, right? I can't solve for x twice. So now I'm going to subtract 3 from each side, and I get negative y is equal to negative 5. Divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. So y is equal to 5. We're definitely testing this one. So let's go ahead and say 6 times my value for 1 minus 2 times my value for 5. What do I get? Good news. And I'll say negative 10 times my value for x plus 10 times my value for y. Good news. Good thing I caught my mistake. All right, everybody, good job. We'll do the second page in another video.